Innovation Unplugged from the Alabama Community College System's Innovation Center takes you inside Alabama's workforce development. Join us for enlightening conversations with community leaders and industry experts showcasing experiences, addressing key issues, and celebrating successes in the workforce initiatives across the state.
That's exactly what I needed. This is good stuff. So, hey guys, we are back. Another episode of Innovation Unplugged. Today's a special show in my heart. We're cooking it a year with some new coworkers. They're not new; they are family now. They were family when they started, but today's a fun show. We've got our 3 workforce coordinators in one studio. We're going to tell some good stories, a whole lot of information at one time. But I'm Houston Blackwood, workforce director for this group. In the studio, I have Kayla Dozier, our director for marketing and corporate partnerships. And by Zoom, in a way we've never done before, we've got from my left to my right, we got Fodina Henderson, Darlisha Davis, and LaTrenda Nicholson, who are our North and South and Central workforce coordinators for the workforce department. So, ladies all around, welcome. So glad to have y'all here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Good.
Happy to be here.
Good.
It's amazing to be here.
Good. Now, you guys, just for the listening audience, they are in Montgomery. We are in Tuscaloosa, and we've never done a show quite like this with 3 people on a Zoom. So it's going to be good. Listen, we got some fun questions. Kayla came up with some awesome stuff. So we got a lot to cover, and we're going to try to get this thing done in 30 minutes. So you guys rock on. Kayla, let's tee it up. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. So we often are told, hey, maybe only have 2 or 3 people on the podcast, but today we're doing 5. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so you guys were given a little bit of a heads up on some of the questions related to customer service and relationship building. So we're going to bounce some questions off of you guys. I'm going to take the first one related to customer service. And I'm going to position this one for Fodina, just because I can see her from my angle. So what is your go-to customer service voice? And how different is that versus your real voice, maybe when you're hangry?
That's
Well, a customer service voice versus just my everyday talking to, oh, wow. Huh.
Yes. We meet a lot of personalities in the jobs that we do. So sometimes we have to be professional, but also, enjoy what we do. So thought that question might be interesting for you.
Okay. So, yeah, I do have a distinct difference. I usually am very kind of calm and relaxed with my customer service voice. But when I'm with just my everyday friends, coworkers, it's more heightened. It's, more fun, more energetic. But customer service, you kind of want to have a calm voice, a more inviting voice for somebody so that they can feel more calm with you. So yeah, there is a little difference between the voices that I use between customer service and everyday voice.
Sure, I understand that completely. I feel like a lot of the times with the work that you guys do, and you can kind of give some examples maybe of just how you're constantly moving really quickly, and you may be in the middle of a project and you're in the weeds really with what you're doing, but then you get a phone call and it kind of humbles you a
Yeah.
little bit of reminding you, right, of why you're here today. And so I always have to keep that attitude a little in check for myself. So has there ever been a time where you could give an example of that? I know that our audience wants to get to know you guys, your personalities, and different members of our team. So we hope that this podcast shines a light on how you do your job every day. And we really think customer service is what you guys excel at. So if there's an example that you can give, we would love to hear that.
Yeah, so with customer service, sometimes it fluctuates because I work with schools, I work with students, so it's according to my audience, usually with schools, and then it's according to the school. Because sometimes I can have a different conversation with somebody. You just have to know who you're talking to and kind of gauge what kind of voice, what kind of presence, what are you going to give them? Because everybody can't take high pitch. Everybody may not be able to drink calmness and that monotone. So you kind of have to gauge and see and kind of predict the person that you're talking to and meet them where they're at.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I like that. And knowing most of the colleges that y'all, well, I know all the directors y'all work with, not so much their team members because they've all grown, but certainly knowing that audience, man, I bet y'all do a good job. I know you do a good job. I bet it's interesting. Question is either for LaTrenda or Darlisha, because I think both of y'all are really good at this one, so y'all can just fight over it over there in studio. Tell us about a time you had to deliver bad news, but it made it sound like it was the best thing ever.
Well, it was a time where I had to deliver some equipment and it ended up falling on a holiday. So at first the bad news was going to be, hey, this is a holiday. However, I can, deliver it on a different day. But instead of doing that, I turned that situation around and decided to go ahead and deliver it. One thing I try to remember with my colleges is that they are working just as hard as we are. So I try my best to always be there, be available, and to make sure I keep that commitment and promise. If I say I'm going to do something, even though that was a holiday, and of course I did not realize it to the last minute, I still made sure I kept my word. I feel like your word is all that you have. If you don't have your word, that's part of that commitment, that customer service, and that relationship that we build daily. So you have to be a person of your word and do what you say you're going to do. And so they were very grateful for that because that instructor wanted to make sure he had time to use the equipment and make sure everything was working properly before they started that lab a couple of days early. So I wouldn't say that was completely bad news, but it could have possibly turned it into that because I could have said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to deliver it. But instead, I'm like, no, I'll take that sacrifice and do that for my college because that relationship I always want to keep open and honest with them to make sure that on both ends, I do what I'm supposed to and they do the same as well. So I really can't say I've had to deliver a lot of bad news because before I come to the table with anything, I'm going to have a solution. I'm going to have a game plan. So to make sure that, it's not delivered in a way that is offensive or it can become a negative energy atmosphere for that college. So, when those times come, I just say when you have lemons, make lemonade, make the best out of it. So,
So maybe in that situation, the bad news is really for you because it was a holiday. But we get so many crazy holidays. Like I worked the last two. I didn't know one of them.
great. So yeah, I was not mad at all. I'm like, you know what? I can take that day another day. So it's okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hey, this might be a little unconventional, but we kind of dove right into all of these questions.
We did.
And I feel like we need to take just a second and kind of set the tone of who our coordinators are and what their role is. Because although you and I understand and know, we got super eager and excited to start this podcast. And so I feel like these next questions will reflect what you do, but at the same time, maybe LaTrenda, if you want to give us a rundown of your role, all three of your roles of what you do, how you support the Innovation Center, the team, but then also your role for the colleges so that our audience understands kind of where you're coming from in the answers to these questions.
Good call. More people will listen because we messed up the intro.
We're not perfect, so.
Well, I am the Central Workforce Coordinator, and I am in the Central of Alabama. So what I do every day is making sure that we're providing services all across the state of Alabama to make the people more profitable across the state. Because some people may want to add more to their resume, but they don't know how. And that's where innovation steps in to offer these free services. All we need is a little bit of your time. A lot of people don't know these things because they're not paying attention to social media or they just don't know. So that's where we come in and offer these services to people to let them know. Because I'm all about always trying to tell somebody, hey, if you decide that you want to learn how to drive heavy equipment, all we need is a little bit of your time. 2 days of lab, you may be hired while you're at that lab. And then you realize, hey, I don't like this. Okay, go and try something else. So it gives you more than one opportunity to see what is out there for you because you need to make sure that you're researching to see if this is what you exactly like and don't go into a job that you don't like. So hopefully that covered your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a question?
Well, I think it's a good segue follow up, really, because LaTrenda, you came from Alabama State, right?
Yes.
We recruited you, not recruited, you found us, thankfully. But you came from Alabama State, and I think you did job very similar to what you're doing now, what you just
Yes,
described, right?
because I was recruiting students there, and here the students, I don't have to recruit them. It's almost as if they come to me, but I'm still able to provide services for them to make them better for society out in their communities.
Mm-hmm. And just on that same note, we found the Fodina from Alabama A&M, and we got Darlisha from Bishop State, and they're still salty by that. But I hope they listen to this podcast and know how thankful we are for all three of these folks. But that's right. So you were doing kind of the same thing, LaTrenda, that you're doing now, just a different source of students. So good.
Yes, so that kind of leads into the building relationships part. LaTrenda, you are one of the most kind individuals and so fun to talk to. And I feel like you probably have so many stories about the people that you meet. And so we've got a ton of contacts in what we do. We meet people from all over, different walks of life. What has been the most surprising relationship that you've been able to build in this role since you started?
Well, I'm going to use a scenario because I had a student. He just graduated from Calhoun High School in Lowndes County. He was one of my students from my previous jobs. He wanted to get his CDL.
Oh,
And
wow.
he called me on a Sunday morning. I was sitting in church waiting on church to start. I answered the phone because I didn't know who it was. And he told me he couldn't get logged in. I said, "Who is this?" He told me his name. I said, "Do you know who you're talking to?" He said, "No, ma'am." And I told him, I said, "I will help you as much as I can." And so once I got him logged in, he did complete his CDL right before he graduated from high school. He called and kept me updated on everything that he was doing. And I told him, I said, "You're going to be one of my special kids." And he said, "I really appreciate that." So he finished his CDL. He's waiting now to see if he can get hired on. So that was something special to me, being that he was one of my prior students and my current students. And for him to be 18 years old and for him to have accomplished this goal, that makes me feel real good about it.
Absolutely. That is awesome. And that he felt comfortable, walking through that process with you. I will say a little plug for the marketing team. Let's follow up with him to see where he is after he completes the course and hopefully gets a job from it. I would love to help capture that
Will do.
story.
That those relationships often, you guys do. I know the conversations because we're trying to support, yet also not supervise, but like monitor a process or certain parameters that we have to hold. So sometimes we have to get folks to do things they don't really want to do, or persuade, convince.
They didn't know they wanted to do it, right?
They didn't know they wanted to do it until we told them that they wanted to do it. So, and I know you guys do some magic there, but Fodina, what is your secret weapon, your secret move when you try to convince somebody or persuade somebody to do a thing that they really just don't want to do?
Oh wow, that's a good question. I think my secret weapon is perception, because everybody has a reason behind what they want and what they want to do. First off, I'll listen, make sure I understand them, proper communication. And one thing I'll try to do is pick up on something that I can kind of connect to what I'm trying to offer. So being able to have that conversation and communicate and understand what they want to do and make that connection with them to say, "Hey, this is going to help you, moving forward, and it's going to help your family. It's going to help anybody that's around you." So just making that connection. And also, they would have to trust me as a person, trust that I'm not just telling them things, that I'm here to kind of help out and support. So building those relationships with them, to help persuade them to where it's best for them to go, or where we feel like it's best for them to go.
I love that you said listen and to understand that 7 habits of highly effective people. Listen, seek to understand, then be understood. That's one of them. I remember. Love that. I think I stink at that. I like to just say what I say. Oh man, that's a great answer, Fadina. I appreciate that, and it pays off because some of your colleges, I know them well, are very strong-willed, very ambitious, and like to run fast. And sometimes we have to convince them that they need to do things differently. But hearing why they're moving fast a certain way, that's powerful. Love that.
Okay, Darlisha, I've told you this off air before, and now I'm outing myself, but I want to be Darlisha when I grow up. Everything she does is so fun and always comes to the table prepared and all the things. But I get this a lot. We get emails that catch us off guard. So I want to know for you, when you get an email that catches you off guard, and it's one of those that you're like, I'm just going to step away for a second, take a walk before I reply to this. Give us a time that happened, because every time I talk about you or I think about you, you're always happy. You always have it all together. But I know we're not all perfect. And so I think I want to learn from you in this situation.
Well, considering that we do travel within our position, so you do have to find that balance when it comes to serving your colleges. So it's been times where somebody is locked out, blocked, can't get in. The class might be starting the next day. It's been times I've literally had to pull over on the side of the road and fix something. Um, Over the years, I would say, because it's not have always been as easy, to balance that and to be able to just shift all of a sudden. So I always remind myself it could be worse. It could be a bigger problem than this. And because when you look at life, period, when you see other people's situations and things, you think you might have it bad. And it's really not that bad. It really could be worse. So, again, there's been times I have literally pulled over on the interstate or took that next exit and executed that problem. For me, I don't like stuff sitting on the table personally or work related. If it's something that needs to be taken care of, I'm an executor. That's what I do. And I do it because I have to put myself in the college shoes, considering I came from a community college. So I was in that role. I was sitting there waiting to get an email back to get something taken care of because I had a student in front of me. So I work in the mindset of assisting as soon as possible. And my colleges appreciate that, but they also appreciate when I can't respond immediately because they know if Darlisha is not responding, she's in a meeting, she's on the road, she's doing something to where she can't respond, and they respect that, and we have that communication open enough to understand if I'm not available. But normally I just try to take care of it right then and there. Or if something crashes, like last summer when we did the shift in the emails, that was kind of rough, but we got through it. It was fun times, right? It was fun times. That's the best way to describe that. But, you just have to take it and make the best out of that situation, no matter what it looks like. At that time, just know it's a solution for it. It's not broke forever. It's not, internally. It can be fixed. So
Absolutely. I think we can all appreciate that for sure. I feel like in IC world, if you don't respond almost immediately or within the hour, you're gonna come back to like 10 more emails on that one topic of conversation. So that's definitely, a culture amongst our team that it's quick and efficient. It might not always be the most healthy approach for everyone, but I do appreciate how everyone on the team manages that in their own way, to respond quickly and efficiently and find a solution for our colleges and ultimately for the students that we're serving.
I think that's a really good segue back to LaTrenda. We got a couple more questions for y'all, but LaTrenda, you've got this phrase. I see it. It's on your Jeep, maybe. Positive vibes only. And I remember when we interviewed you, actually all three of you, when y'all sat down in the interview chairs, I was like, I'm hiring this one. I know it. It just, you just know things sometimes. And actually, Darlisha calls like, hey, you're going to hire me. That's not true. It's like exactly what she said, but she was like, I want this job. So, but when LaTrenda and Fodina sat down, I was like, this is the one. And actually, Fodina had interviewed twice. And the first time it wasn't the right role because I knew this one was coming. So I was like, I'm going to hold her, invite her back. But LaTrenda, I knew as soon as you sat down, I was like, this lady has a big personality. And knowing the region you were going to work in, I was like, that's exactly what we need for that region. So you do deliver, you guys manage a lot of things and y'all all touched on it very professionally, but sometimes it's not easy because people are just, they're in a bind or it's a time crunch, whatever. But how do you maintain that positive vibes only mindset approach all the time? Because I've never seen you not do that. What's your secret sauce on
I don't
that?
do negative energy at all. I don't care where it comes from. Because because I have 9 colleges. Now, is it easy? No. But like I said, I built a relationship with my people. So pretty much when I call or if it's something that I need, they're pretty open to it. And like I said, I don't do negative energy. So when I call or when I email, I try to make sure I greet them, ask how they're doing. And if it's something that I need, I just go ahead and ask them for. And most of the times I get what I ask for. But like I said, this is me. This is not just because I'm in whatever setting I am in. This is what you get, regardless of what. Because if I see somebody and I speak to them and they got a sad face, I'm like, you good? And they probably going to end up smiling because, like I said, they probably needed that. But like I said, I don't do negative energy at all. Because we're going to get some giggles in.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, you're exactly right, and you're so good at that. I don't know how many times I've been somewhere in the IC suite or in the conference room next to your office, and you walk by, and I don't know how you know I needed it, but you came with this little pack of Twizzlers. One time, a whole bag of the short ones. I ate the whole bag in like 10
But
minutes. My
I
stomach was
thought you
hurting,
was going to be here
but I
today.
needed those dang Twizzlers that day.
That's her secret sauce, right? She knows what people need.
Say what,
I
LaTrenda?
said, I thought you was going to be here today because I had some in my book bag for you.
Girl, I'll be there. I'll be there soon. Not today, but
Oh yeah.
but it's funny, and that's Twizzlers are my thing. But I know that everybody else's in your world. You know what their thing is, and that's an amazing thing. But I see all three of you do that. I just knew about LaTrenda. I was like, she's gonna have a tough region at some big colleges, moving fast, and we're gonna need that positive. Hey, yes, we are. We're gonna do it, and you don't get a whole lot of say in it. We're gonna make it happen. And that's what happens, and it always flows well. So good stuff. We're getting a little short on time, ladies. So one more question, maybe to Fodina, or do you have another one?
Well, I think, we could ask all three of you guys this question, but as we're not, we're in the middle of summer, kind of, our colleges really aren't really slowing down, but it's a little bit slower than other times of the year. And when we talk about goals and things of 2025, from your perspective, all three of you, what are some things that you're looking forward to accomplishing before the end of the year, personally or professionally? But I think for our audience to continue to see your heart and your work ethic and all the things that you love and why you do what you do, sharing some of those goals, I think can encourage and empower those that are listening to this podcast. Fodina, we'll start with you.
Okay, so there are a couple of things that I do want to accomplish both personally and professionally. Professionally, I do want to get more involvement. I'm in the Huntsville, the northern area. I want to get more of the smaller communities involved in what we're doing. We have a meeting set up this Thursday with a church group that has a youth program. I want to kind of get into some of those little small communities that sometimes get overlooked for whatever reason. Of course, we have some of the bigger ones, industries, but some of those smaller ones that really needs that's under resourced, that needs a little bit more help. I kind of want to get into that. So that means getting out of my comfort zone and maybe going out into the community a little bit more. On a personal level, I do want to learn more about just software, the up and coming things like AI, things that I need to know to kind of make work easier, make life a little easier, learning some of those different softwares. And another thing, but Caleb probably enjoyed this. I want to learn more about Canva. I know you introduced this at our professional development. Absolutely, it's so fun. And then Darlisha, she sends out these cute little Canva type illustrations every morning. And I'm like, this is so cute. So I want to kind of learn how to do some stuff like that. So that's on a more personal, but also I can use it professionally as well. So those are my goals.
I love that.
Okay, it's my turn. So I would say my goals is reaching out more to Mobile. Mobile is a big city, but I noticed in my region other cities are more active when it comes to the innovation center. So I feel like it's a need to really hit the ground running with them and seeing how it can be a bigger resource. A lot of people still don't know about our programs and what we offer in a city so big as Mobile. So I feel like reaching out more to my personal city because my other community colleges are doing an amazing job and just educating the community more and marketing. Something marketing has always been a thing on my radar. So that's what I would like.
No,
You think about
you're not stealing her off my team. Okay, like cut that out, Nick. We're gonna edit all that out. That never happened. Strike it. I'm kidding, Darlisha. I'm sorry.
So
No.
marketing and pictures, like I know Tom is good with cameras. So just to be able to illustrate what we do more on a daily basis and bring that picture overall, because some people are not a word person, but a picture is worth 1,000 words, you know. So having those illustrations to show people in the community what we do and how we do it, it's definitely a blessing to be on this team and to do what we do. It's more like a mission. Like I don't feel like this is work. I wake up every day excited, ready to hit the ground running and see how I can make somebody's life different. And it's no other feeling such rewarding as this. So that's it.
I love that. And we'll put our art of persuasion to the test, maybe on some marketing efforts. Houston's giving me the side eye.
Whatever. LaTrenda.
Well, for me, I recently, this beginning of June, I did something that had me out of my comfort zone because as I'm going into these schools, especially the high schools, and I'm having conversations with these students, they are rising seniors and they're confused about what's next. So I stepped outside of my comfort zones and I started making reels for it's been the last 8 days, and it's definitely out of my comfort zone to provide them with information as they're preparing to graduate. Because like I said, there's so many unknown things that they don't know, the parent don't know, they're lost. So instead of them being lost, let's provide some tips to them. Like I said, it's all out of my comfort zone, but I did it. No, it's not perfect, but hey, I did it. Like I said, only thing I can say is don't look in my eyes, just listen to what I'm saying. So, but like I said, something that I want to learn is more about technology. Cause like I said, I love pictures. And like with the AI thing, I've tried to use that a little bit, as well as like Fodina and Darlisha mentioned about Canva. I'm sure that I can do it, but it's more so for me, I need one-on-one so I can, get what I need. Cause like I said, in a group setting, I'm gonna be just as lost. But like I said, I'm gonna keep trying because I know that I can do it. And like I said, for with this job is exactly everything that I wrote down and asked God for, and He has given me more than enough. And like I said, I enjoy what I do.
Love it. I'll let Kayla close the final thoughts. I would just like to say, like we needed y'all. We needed somebody. God sent y'all. I'm gonna say that on record, but to grow like we've grown and to reach the accomplishments with the enrollment and the registrations and the completions and all the other things that we do beyond just getting folks in the door. It would not have happened like it has in the last year without y'all, period. I mean, somebody would have done that job, but they wouldn't have done it like y'all all three have. And so for just working on my team and seeing y'all's influence, not just on our team, but in the curriculum, in the marketing, as the team as a whole, my goodness, I couldn't have asked for a better outcome from bringing y'all onto the family. So from my heart to yours, thank you very much. You guys have made a big difference in what we do.
Thank you.
How sweet.
Oh, that's so
sweet.
Sweet.
Make it weird.
Yeah,
Don't make it
so
weird.
grateful to be.
No, I will say on air, like LaTrenda, you going on TikTok, doing those videos. I'm so proud. I haven't even done that, and I'm in marketing. And so I think that that is fabulous. And those that are listening right now, follow LaTrenda Nicholson on TikTok and follow her tips for those high school students and even for those parents. And so I think that that's amazing and that's awesome. And keep doing that. Meeting your audience where they're at is extremely important. And so that's what we want to do with all of these podcasts that we do. And so I look forward to hopefully you guys hosting your own podcast with some of the success stories and industry partners and students that you've had the opportunity to touch their lives and really help make Alabama better. So thank you guys for being on today's episode. I'll go ahead and close us out if no one has any closing remarks. Everyone's shaking their head. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of Innovation Unplugged. Please like, subscribe, and follow on all of our social media platforms. Have a great day.